Is up, everybody? Welcome back to our live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. I'm Jason. That's Shawn. Sorry if it freezes. What's up, Shawn?
What's up? Good morning, Jason. How's it going over there? It's 7 a.m. over here in Hawaii. We're just getting up. We're getting started, ready for the big game.
For a big Steelers kickoff day, the big news, Shawn, let's get the elephant out of the room now. George Pickens out, inactive for today's game against the Cleveland Browns here in week 14. Let's just start off now. Does this take this Pittsburgh Steelers offense and make them horrible to where they're not going to be able to succeed today?
No, they're not going to be horrible. It might be a bit more of a struggle, but they got a lot of targets to go out there for Russell Wilson. They got a lot of ways they can go about this today to beat the Cleveland shit stains.
The poop stains. Can they get it done against the Pittsburgh Steelers? That is the question, my friend. Yes. And George Pickens being out is a big, big blow, guys. No doubt about it. But we will be okay. 10 different receivers last week for Russell Wilson. I think that could continue to be the theme. Let's check up on the chat real quick, see who's in here. Miss Pittsburgh in the house. Let's keep going. Tom Ford in the house. Craig Werlow, Roberta Campbell, Sydney Wilson. Good to see you all. I see your score predictions also. Tom Ford says 24-17. Miss Pittsburgh says 20-19 Pittsburgh. If you guys want to record your score predictions, make sure you go into the community section. We do have a tab made there for you guys to put your score predictions in. And I'm going to start using that as the way to continue to monitor them all, so I don't have to write them all down because it takes me a god-awful amount of time. But again, we are in here. What's up, Armin? Score predictions for the Steelers matchup. We'll get ours out of the way. What is yours, Shawn, before we talk about this game? What do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers can do with George Pickens being out? What's your score prediction here today?
31-20, Pittsburgh Steelers.
31-20 from Shawn. 31-20. That's from Shawn. I'm going to go with this, guys. I think it's going to be a 27-24 football game. Pittsburgh Steelers win. I think it's going to be a tight matchup without George Pickens, but I think we're going to see some different stars today. Well, I know we are, and I think the Steelers are going to lean on that run game. I think time of possession is going to be key, and I think the Steelers do prevail to get that 10th win of the season. Extra Black, what's up? Mel Mills, Challenger 22. Mel Mills says 27-18. Should be a big coming out party for Mike Williams. Pickens runs his mouth now. He isn't even playing. What the fuck from Challenger? I get it. I get it, Shawn. I get it. But let's start with that offense, Shawn. Let's talk about that offense a little bit. Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Mike Williams could be involved. Calvin Austin should be out there today. What do you think the Steelers will do offensively in terms of who will be that big-time playmaker today? Or do you think it's going to be by committee and more of what you saw last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, 10 different receivers?
Yeah, I think it's going to be by committee, and I also think that they're going to rely heavily on the run game and a lot more screen passes and dump passes today. I think we can expect a little bit more of a different offensive scheme compared to 2 weeks ago when we played them again. When we played them the first time this season, so I expect to see a little bit more Najee Harris and Jalen Warren today in the screens and the dumps.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I liked that last week, man. That was pretty good. Those dump passes, those screen passes, drawing people up, putting that defense back on their heels. It was definitely something that they have to continue to do. And I thought that was something really, really special that you saw from this Steelers offense. Let's keep going. Roberta says it'll be a closer game and a lower score than that last week. I think so, too. Challenger says 24-14. Tom Ford says Mike Williams will most likely get more snaps. I think so, too. Shawn, do you think Mike Williams gets on the train today with the absence of George Pickens? Do you see Mike Williams actually getting targets in this football game?
Yeah, I can see him getting a couple of targets today. You know, somebody's got to step up when one of our starting guys goes down, and why not be Williams? I mean, that's what we kind of brought him here for. We need more depth at the wide receiver position, so today's the perfect opportunity for him to step up and make a name for himself in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's the thing, Shawn. When you get your opportunities, you got to step up, man. And that's what the big thing is here for the Steelers. Step up if you're Mike Williams. Step up if you're Calvin Austin. Step up into these roles. And when you mentioned depth, that was the thing everybody all week talking about. Oh, don't get this player, don't get that player. But this is the prime example, Shawn. When your depth is tested in a position that you weren't necessarily as deep as you would want to be, perhaps, these are the moments that maybe depth really plays that big key role, bro.
Absolutely. And this is what we were talking about early in the season when we were all excited about all the depth that we got. We've reached the point of the season where we're reaching into the pockets, the Steelers are, and grabbing every little piece that they can to this puzzle to go out there and piece together another win.
No doubt. Noah Duffy says without Pickens in the game, the Browns were fueled on him all week long. They don't really have much to play for now. Do you think that this takes away from the fire in the belly of the Cleveland Browns, or do you think they're going to treat this like their Super Bowl game, Shawn, where they're going to go out there and try to destroy the Steelers here and ruin their season?
Let's be real. The Browns don't stand a chance of ever making a postseason deep run or a Super Bowl win. So when it comes to the AFC North matchups and they get an opportunity to knock the Ravens off or the Steelers off, that is their Super Bowl. So again, they're going to play today like it's their final Super Bowl because they get a couple each year. This is their bragging rights. So yeah, and as far as Pickens being out and them with their scheme and what they were planning on all week, and now he's out there, not out there. I can see them being a little bit more confused as in what are the Steelers going to do? Who are they going to give the ball to? Uh,
Exactly.
they're missing that big element piece that they need. So this is going to leave the Browns out there kind of scratching their heads a little bit, going, shit, what do they got up their sleeve today?
Yeah, you might see some more gadgety type stuff, Shawn. Justin Fields is there. You got the ability to run gadget plays. You have Calvin Austin that can run a deep ball like no other. There's so much that this Steelers team could do. You have the weapons in the tight end room. You have the weapons in the running back game. You have Russell Wilson playing top shelf football right now. There is just so much that they can do, so why pin yourself into one single thing? So yes, I like that, and I think that that is exactly right. The Cleveland Browns might be left guessing today. All right, yeah, feel the steel. Challenger says, "I want this game bad. I hate the Browns. Still pissed about the game 2 weeks ago. Me too. Wave those terrible towels for Miss Pittsburgh." Craig Warlow, this is the situation we all dreaded. If Picking goes down, now what? I just am not freaked out by it, Shawn. Are you freaked out by this George Pickens situation not being there? I think it's a bummer. I think it's
Yeah,
going to be big thing, but I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah, when you first told me that he was out, my first initial reaction was, "Damn it! There goes our big playmaker." And I really wanted him to go out there and kind of redeem himself and show that he can play with a cool head on his shoulders and make a big play and not go out and throw, taunt the enemy, if you will. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to panic. There's nothing to panic about. I mean, Russell Wilson, he distributed the ball to 10 different receivers last week, so
Yep.
I mean, we still got 9 targets left out there and probably still, a few more pieces that we didn't even get into. So I'm not worried at all either, bro.
Yeah, I'm not either, dude. And people ask, now what? Here's the question. Here's the answer to the now what's. The Van Jeffersons, the Calvin Austins, the Mike Williams, the Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington, Connor Hayward, Najee, Jalen. There are an abundance of weapons that are just simply overlooked because of the stardom of George Pickens and what he is able to do out there on the football field week in, week out. He is a luxury item, but you can still win football games without George Pickens. And I'm a firm believer that this Steelers team is just that, Shawn. They are a team. They are a complete unit. We haven't even talked about the defense just yet and what they are going to be able to do at home against Jameis Winston. But definitely, I feel like this is a team, Shawn, a real team. And that's what matters here.
It takes a team to build that dream. That's always been a saying of mine in our locker room and the schools that we grew up in, playing in, and it doesn't get any more like straight to the point than that. You got to have a full unit, and you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yes, that's it, man. No doubt. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live, our live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. I'm Jason, that's Shawn. We appreciate it. Welcome back to all the new subscribers here the last couple days. We appreciate that. But, guys, you got to make sure you're hitting that like button. That is so imperative. So double tap that screen, get those likes going, and really try to help us out here. sending the show through the YouTube algorithm. It's free. It's easy. Do it up. I appreciate you. Roberta Campbell, what am I looking at? A hamstring is an injury that lingers on. How long do you think Pickens will be unable to play? Just what you said, you kind of answered it in your comment, Roberta. It's a tricky thing. It's one of those things nobody's going to really know until the situation just plays itself out. It's definitely something like that. Mel Mills says, I forgot Alex is back, 27-23 for Mel Mills. Yes, no doubt. We're going to talk about that defense. Let me catch up in the chat, Sean. Tom Ford, when the Browns play the Steelers, it's always their Super Bowl. Amen. Craig Werlow, worried about this injury. Could it be more than a week? If so, it will be that, or that would be a problem. It would be. Downtown, what's up? Hey, Jason and Sean, feel the steel. Time for the O-line to step up and gash the pooper D line and let 22, 30, and 84 play smash mouth football and run the ball today. Sean, is that something the Steelers are going to come out doing and just be typical conservative Mike Tomlin type football because of the absence of George Pickens? Do you see them still throwing the ball a shit ton like they did last week? Or do you think this is just going to be run, 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 run?
I think that the Browns are expecting a big run game today, and for that matter, I think Tomlin is going to go out there and want the offense to throw the ball a little bit more, just kind of like last week. I think we're going to see a similar performance to last week today. We're going to see the screen passes, like I was saying, the dump passes, and we're going to see Russell Wilson spreading the ball around. We can't be one-dimensional today. We tried that 2 weeks ago, and look what happened. So, like I said, I think we saw the recipe last week. What's going to carry over into today?
Yeah, no doubt. And that is going to be troublesome at times because you don't have the double coverage rolling into George Pickens' way. You don't have those things. But I still think there's enough weapons on this football team that they can win their one-on-one matchups. And I think Russell Wilson can still be versatile. And let's not forget, Mike Williams hasn't been utilized, and we don't really know what he could do inside of this Steelers offense in totality. So there's some unanswered questions there that I think you're going to get some answers to today. So definitely let's keep going through the chat. Challenger 22. If the Steelers lose again to the Browns, Tomlin needs fired. Tom Ford, Challenger 22. Mike Tomlin needed fired 12 years ago. Feel the steel. 5 is going to be seeing 90, 56, 51 all day, baby. Feel the steel. Amen. We're going to get Sean's feel the steel moments. I did mine Friday. I like that jersey, Jason. Thank you, man. Big Cam Hayward, feel the steel. Bold play today. Minka gets a pick. Challenger 22 defense is going to need to step up big time today. Minka, where have you been? All right, Sean, what's your feel the steel moments? What's your keys to victory here today for the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 14 against the shit stains in Acrisure Stadium? What is your thoughts and what's your keys to today?
Well, the keys today is spread the ball around on offense and on defense. Don't shoot yourself in the foot with penalties. Penalties is going to be huge today, you guys.
Yeah, you can't afford any blunders today, man. I'll take some aggressive play. I'll eat a penalty here and there, but you can't have 5, 6, 7 penalties on one guy. That's not going to work today, and that has to be taken care of a little bit. What's your bold play prediction for today? Last week, we talked about Peyton Wilson scoring. He did. What's your bold play for this week, Sean? What do you think is going to happen inside of this ball game in terms of a splash play? What's your bold prediction today?
It's going to be TJ Watt. I think they poked the bear. I think that he's got something to go on. He's got a chip on his shoulder. And Myles Garrett ran his mouth. The Cleveland Browns been running their mouth. TJ Watt, he's not the type of guy that's going to go out on social media and make a tweet or say something stupid to the media. He's going to save it for the football field, for the gridiron, and he's going to go out there, and that's my bold prediction. I think TJ Watt is going to be an absolute menace today.
Absolutely. My bold prediction for a splash play today comes at the hands of Deshaun Elliott. I think Deshaun Elliott is going to return a interception today for a touchdown. Not off a just straight pick from Deshaun. I think it's going to be a batted ball by one of the defensive backs, and Deshaun Elliott is going to be in the right place at the right time. And I think that's where you get your big momentum turning play today. That's from Deshaun Elliott returning things for a pick six. And I also like offensively Pat Freiermuth to get involved. I look for Pat Freiermuth to have 2 touchdowns today and 100 yards plus receiving on 10 targets. That's where I think Pat Fryermuth succeeds today. I think that that's where the Steelers succeed today offensively is through that tight end room. All right, guys, let's keep going. We're going to talk about this defense here a little bit. Steelers don't really have a number two wide receiver. I disagree with that. I think Calvin Austin has fulfilled that number two role. I think Mike Williams could. I think Pat Fryermuth fulfills the role of a number two if you really want to look at it that way. I think Van Jefferson has stepped up. I think the number two role is done by committee, but again, I think there's players on this football team that have stepped up into it, Shawn. Do you think the Steelers lack a true number two target?
No, not at all. And I think you hit the nail on the head once you said that. I was like, man, you're right. Today is a perfect day to kind of to lean on the tight end group that we have. We might be missing George Pickens, but we got some amazing tight ends and we got multiple of them. So why not, involve them in the scheme, and that's a hard thing to stop when you got these big bodied guys like Darnell Washington catching the ball and then turning around and running at your 190-pound safety when the guy's like 250. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a scary sight, bro. And today is the day we got to lean on our tight ends. Very good point, Jason.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I agree, man. Use the shit out of them. And when they come down, Shawn, and they start playing that short to intermediate game with the tight ends and they start biting on that, what do you have in your back pocket? Calvin Austin. You have
Yeah.
Van Jefferson down the middle, down the sideline. You have Mike Williams that you can utilize in those situations. I think that there is just a plethora of opportunity. And I think a lot of fans and a lot of people in the media discount what this Steelers offense can do and how versatile they really are. We talked all summer, Shawn, about there being weapons in there. Some that we may not feel like are superstars, but they're weapons nonetheless, brother. And I think that you have to rely on that. And I think that's what makes this Steelers team a complete team. They play good defense. They have special players all over the place. They just got to utilize it. And I think they've done that lately, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've done a really good job considering what they have and the cards they were dealt this year.
Yeah, just going out there, getting it done, man, and doing
Yeah.
what they got to do, winning by any means necessary. And I think they manufacture wins, Shawn. They're a team that, finds a way each and every week, whether it's a week they don't score a touchdown, whether it's a week they put up 44 points. They still find a way to win. And that's what can't be overlooked about this ball club, Shawn. They find fucking ways to win, baby.
Yeah. And I think another key to victory today, like as far as defensive wise, is they got to get after the quarterback, Jameis Winston. They can't let him stand in that pocket today. I want to see 4 sacks again. I want 4 sacks today against Jameis Winston.
Yeah. Tom Ford says the Steelers are benching Pickens on purpose in fear of the Browns targeting him. I don't agree with that one either. I think that that's not the case. This is NFL football. They pay these guys to play. There's no way, shape, or form that they would be benching somebody in fear of that. I mean, I could see why somebody would think that for sure. I don't discount it, but I just can't ever see the Pittsburgh Steelers organization or franchise doing something like that, Shawn. Do you think that that might be the case?
No, he's got too much talent and he brings just a too
Yeah.
much he's just a big threat and he can score any time and there's no way you sit a guy like that unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, and they're forced to absolutely have to right now. I just don't see that because honestly, the Steelers at 9-3, Shawn, are in no position whatsoever to give up a win just to give away put another loss in the loss column for the sake of protecting George Pickens from big bag Greg Newsome or somebody. I just don't see that being the case.
Yeah, and this is a big game. The Steelers got to win this game. They got to win all the games if they can. But these AFC North battles, this is what's going
Gotta
to set the Steelers at the end of the season for a good postseason run. So they got to win today.
Yeah, you need this one and beat the Ravens, and the AFC North is yours. 11
Yep.
wins, and with those 2 wins being within division, you win the AFC North. That's it. Like, then the rest is just gravy. So you got to really focus on this right now and get these AFC North games secured and not crumble and not give away wins or losses to any of these teams. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. We are ready. Roberta Campbell, that's what I love about TJ. Lets his play speak for himself, not his mouth. Miles, you're still number 2. You're not number 1. Amen, baby. Amen. We're going to talk about the defense. I'm going to catch up. Today is where I see the tight ends to be their favorite. I agree, man. Tom Ford, Cam Hayward is going to have a big game. I agree with that one, Tom. He's played lights out. Let's get to the defense, Sean. Cameron Hayward. We'll start there with Tom's comment. Um, I think it's a big day for him again. I think he's played exceptionally well. I think he's played probably so far this season one of his better seasons throughout his career. What do you think about Big Cam, that leadership, and what he may be able to provide today for the Steelers?
He's exactly what our defense needs. You know, he's a smart player on the field. He can read the play. He's great at collapsing any pocket that's developing or any hole that's opening up on the offensive line. And he just gets in there and he stuffs the plays and shuts him down. And he's just a great leader. He's always staying cool and composed. You don't see him out there getting all emotionally involved and fighting people. If anything, he goes out there and separates the guys and says, "Get back in the huddle. Come on, we're going to beat these guys with our play. We're not going to run our mouth." And
Yes.
that's the exact kind of player you guys want as a leadership on a team. And man, we should be very thankful to have a guy like Cam Hayward out there, a true veteran, to lead our defense
Yes.
to a big win.
I agree, man. Cam provides a lot, dude. And make sure, guys, you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button. I'm Jason. That's Sean. This is our live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. Hopefully, we're back after the game celebrating a big Pittsburgh Steelers win live here on Mike Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. We try to answer all of your chat questions, and this one brings up Craig Werlow. Would like to see TJ Highsmith and Herbig on the field sometime. Move TJ around, mix things up. Remember earlier in the week, man, I talked about that too, Craig. I agree with you. I think it's something that has to be done, and I think you will see it. Sean, the outside backers room now being really healthy, now being able to be utilized, I think, at its full capacity, its full abilities here. What do you think this outside backers room does in this game? And do you think you see some of those eccentric, exotic formations from the Steelers utilizing possibly multiple outside backers in one formation?
Yeah, I think it's a good possibility today. You know, if there's any time during the season, like we said last week, to bust out your bag of tricks and start using plays that you may have been saving all season, it's the time is now to bring them out and utilize what you got and start securing each and every W that you can. And I do believe we could see some nice mixed packages with our outside linebackers and
Yeah.
another thing that we have a lot of depth at is that position. So it's going to be a tough day for the offensive line in Cleveland and Jameis Winston. They're going to be all over him today. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big defensive day, man. I think the defense really carries this football team today. I honestly do. I think they make some significant plays, putting the Steelers offense inside some good field position, really giving them opportunities to be able to strike and strike quickly. And I think that's how this game really starts off and plays, Sean. I think from the very start of this game, that the defense comes out and they come out swinging and throwing haymakers. And I like that. And I like the way the Steelers team could maybe do some things like that and do some big damage. Phil the Steel says, love the way 15 is putting work out there. Yeah, Ben Skoranek, guys, has been very valuable special teams wise and in the offensive game, especially throwing some blocks out there down the field, doing the big things to spring some players for scores. So I like that, definitely. Downtown John Broadway, here we go. Steelers fans, how do you feel with Pickens out today? McGavin clips. I feel good. I think it's okay. I think it's definitely a big loss, but not something they can't overcome. Challenger 22. Trice is inactive today, too. JPJ is going to have to get it together. Yeah, but we always do this, Sean. I think we overlook Dante Jackson. I think a lot of people overlook him. The NFL's interception leader, I believe, still. A guy that's just come up big in every situation this year. Yes, he's had some moments to where, yeah, okay, it is what it is. But overall, his performance has been stellar. And I think that a lot of people are forgetting about Big 2-6, baby.
Yeah, he's really made some big splash plays for us, and what a great surprise! At least for me, because I was unaware of what he could bring to the table. So a great surprise. He's a great player, and I'm not worried at all. I think the Steelers, we got Mike Tomlin, we got a good coaching staff. They've had all week to prepare for this game, and I don't see them overlooking the Browns this time. I think the Browns are in trouble. I think we will be showing up post game to celebrate a victory today.
I agree, man. And two, guys, we got to take into consideration this, Sean. The Steelers aren't coming off of a fucking 2-day work week to where they had to prepare for the Browns. They're not going to be playing in a fucking snowstorm today. The variables at play that help the Cleveland Browns get that victory aren't there right now. Those variables aren't at play this week, Shawn. And they were definitely variables that played a heavy role into that football game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't going to allow the Cleveland Browns to come into Acrisure Stadium and dog walk them in any way. And if this game is a loss by the Steelers, it is by a last second field goal. It is something wild and wonky. It will not be just a straight ass beating, that's for sure. Chatting with you guys helps ease my pregame nerves. That's from Challenger. Well, good, man. No doubt. Mel Mills, exactly what I was thinking. Washington split out wide. I would love to see that. Tom Ford, remember AB getting knocked out by Vontez Perfect? I do remember that. Definitely remember that.
Well,
That was
we're not going to forget that.
yeah, we're not going to forget that, but that still doesn't change my thoughts on the Steelers sitting George Pickens because they're fearful of him getting targeted. I don't think that that's the case. Mr. Malone, you're amazing. Do you like Mike T? I mean, I don't dislike him. I don't hate him. I think he needs to step up, though, in some big situations and manage the clock. Tom Ford says the Steelers should put Dante Jackson on Judy today. Yeah, that was a big one, Shawn, last time they played the Browns. Jerry Judy having his way with Joey Porter Jr. out there. What do you think? Do you think maybe Dante Jackson might match up better on Jerry Judy or just kind of roll with JPJ and let him get some redemption?
I personally would roll with JPJ. You know, you got to be hands on with these receivers. When you got these big name receivers, these guys are very aggressive off the line, like these receivers can be, and they got their hands moving all over the defenders too. And you have to give that back as a defender. So you're gonna get these calls. You know, Jason's been saying it for the past few weeks. I wouldn't worry about JPJ. You're gonna get called on these plays here and there. But the main
Yeah,
thing is you don't let them blow the top off of our defense. Shut them
right.
down, and if they do get the ball, you're all over them already. So
Yeah,
I would keep rolling with JPJ. That guy's a monster, and you gotta have that guy to disrupt the playmakers, to get them frustrated. God, this guy's got his hands all over me. I can't get open. That's
yeah.
frustrating for a receiver, and that's what you want.
Yes, that's what I say, Shawn. What you were just saying, hands on. Get out there on the edges. I want to see Dante Jackson and Joey Porter Jr. I don't give a shit about the penalties. I just want them to be out there on the edges, Shawn. And that first 5 yards, I want them to make that so damn difficult for those Browns wide receivers that they are what you just said, frustrated, frustrated early. They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it together. They can't get on pace, can't get on rhythm with Jameis Winston. And that's when Jameis Winston makes mistakes, when he's out of rhythm, when he's under pressure, when guys like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, Cam Hayward, those guys can get time to get to him. And I think that's what you're going to see a game plan being deployed by the Steelers. I think you're going to see a lot of press man coverage from the Steelers today with a high emphasis on getting to the passer with 4 people. They're not going to bring crazy exotic blitzes, but I think you do see them occasionally. And I think that you see guys like Herbig or Preston Smith out there as kind of decoys to say that they are going to blitz in big numbers, but yet still be able to get back and drop into pass coverage and cut off some of those Jameis Winston balls. Do you see Jameis Winston throwing some interceptions today in the city of Pittsburgh against this vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers defense?
I do, because they're going to be bringing the pressure all day today, and pressure it obviously rushes the quarterback. And when you're rushing your plays, you're going to make mistakes, and therefore I see an interception or two today.
Yeah, me too, man. Turnovers are going to be the tale of the tale for this game, man. They're gonna tell the story. I think whichever team wins the turnover battle and time of possession, that's who wins this football game. No doubt about it. I mean, it's pretty obvious, Shawn. The formula is basic, man. Control the ball, control the time of possession, and win the turnover battle. And if that's your emphasis each and every week, regardless of how elementary that sounds, and I know a lot of people want big, elaborate answers, they want complex answers to easy problems, but you don't need it. Control the clock, Shawn. Control the fucking turnover game. That's what you got to do, brother.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I think another big thing is on both sides of the ball today, these quarterbacks are going to be focused on getting the ball out of their hands as fast as possible. We're not going to be seeing too much standing around in the pockets. We're going to be seeing a lot of quick outs, some slants, or just a go route, and it's not going to be much more than we're going to see some 5-step passes, but man, these quarterbacks are going to be trying to get the ball out of their hands as fast as they can today because you got guys like T.J. Watt and Miles Garrett coming at you every play.
Yeah, it's not going to be a game of just sitting back there with 10 seconds to throw the fucking football. That's not how this game is going to be won, man. Not at all. But I would like to see Russell Wilson on that rhythm timing type throwing game because I want to see that anticipation. I want to see that knowledge of the offense, that sheer ability to know where your guy's going to be. I want to see the wide receivers on the same page with Russell Wilson. And then defensively, I want to see the same thing timing. I want to see the ability to know what your brother beside you is going to be able to do, each and every player, what they're going to be able to do. And that is doing your job, man. Assignment sound, gap sound type football. That's what you want to see from this Pittsburgh Steelers team today. And that's what Shawn said earlier. Limit the mistakes, limit the penalties. Yes, play fundamentally sound, dude. It's
Yeah,
very, very important, dude. Very
it
important.
is.
All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live, our live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. I'm Jason, that's Shawn. We are here in week 14 talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cleveland Browns. And this is a big game, man, regardless of the record, Shawn, for the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers win this game, my friend, they start to really control this AFC North division in a big, big way. They're putting heavy numbers up on the second place team, the Baltimore Ravens, if that happens. They really look like they will be in command. And you're going to start to see the bandwagon people in the national media telling you, I told you so. But last week they were talking about the Steelers being dog shit. I'm just saying, you're going to have that happen. But I really do think this moment right here, Shawn, is so important for the Steelers. And this week is so important. And this could really change the complexity of this division.
Man, you're so right about the bandwagon jumpers. The past few weeks they've really been hopping on strong, you guys, and that's a thing that's left a bitter taste in my mouth. All year long, we've been listening to these guys dog our Steelers and how they're going to be basement dwellers. And Russell Wilson doesn't have it anymore; he's too old. And man, that there's just nothing that they can do to go out there to win this game. And you're absolutely crazy if you think the Steelers are going to come out of this season with more than 8 to 10 wins. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy to me. They thought the Steelers were going to be worse than that when they had Kenny Pickett and Trubisky. I want to remind you guys that they were saying literally it's going to be worse than what we had before. And
Yeah.
that we all knew here at Mike Drop Sports that this is going to be a magical season. And so far, it's really panned out. And this has been a fun ride, you guys. And remember, enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. Feel the fucking steel, baby. Let's go.
That's right.
Noah Duffy says, true. Are y'all staying live during the game? No, sir. We watched the game. I'm too animated and I need to watch the game. I'm too into the game, man. I cannot do live shows during the game. I need to have focus too, Shawn. I want to see the plays. I want to be able to come back on the show and be able to report something that's accurate, So that's part of the reason we don't go live, I would say.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of times when I'm watching the game too, and I don't say a word for 5-10 minutes because I'm so in my own head watching this game and picking
yeah,
apart what I can. So yeah,
yeah.
I do enjoy coming on before and after though, you guys, and talking football with you.
Yes, no doubt, man. Steelers, we did that. Noah Duffy, we did that. Tom Ford, Mark Malone, Tomlin sucks. Feel the steel. All right, fellas. Steelers 27, Poopers 13. Feel the steel. Roberta Campbell, the thing about today's game is the Browns have nothing to play for except beat the Steelers and have footage from Hard Knocks. So this game is that, and they need to play smart and hopefully no serious injuries. Yeah, we need that. That's definitely. Hope everybody comes out healthy, no doubt about it. With Pickens out, all those moon balls are going to Williams. Yeah, I don't think all of them. I think you're going to see Calvin Austin getting some of those moon balls. I think you're going to see a variety of players getting them. Let's not forget, too, Shawn. He threw a moon ball that maybe not huge yardage down the field, but it was a moon ball to Pat Fryermuth. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, it dropped it right in the slot. It was a perfect touch to that pass. That was a great play for him to step up in the pocket the way he did and to deliver the ball like that. Bruh.
Yes. You know what else too I seen today, Shawn, or not today, maybe a day or two ago. I saw a video contemplation of Russell Wilson in Denver. And they compared it to how he is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it wasn't about play on the football field, it was about his energy on the sidelines. And it was about, hey, look how much different and how much happier he is. He was arguing with Sean Payton back and forth because Sean Payton was up in his shit. He was arguing with other teammates because, maybe they weren't necessarily happy with what's going on. It was just a very tumultuous situation. But you put Russell Wilson inside the city of fucking Pittsburgh, baby. He is ready to go. He looks happy. He looks enthused. He looks energized. He looks ready. He looks
Yeah.
like he is that guy, my friend.
It's because he is that guy. Yeah, he is that guy. He's exactly who the Pittsburgh Steelers needed, and he also needed the Pittsburgh Steelers. They both needed each other. It's one of those things that works out beautifully. And you're right, man. He went to Denver and he was just treated wrong. Sean Payton had a personal problem with Russell Wilson, and it shows. And look how dumb, and look at Sean Payton now. The guy looks like a freaking idiot.
Yeah. Well, Bo Nix is playing all right. We'll give him that. But still, I would have liked to have that veteran leadership of Russell Wilson on my football team because I think that matters, Shawn. I think that matters a great deal. I think Russell Wilson has changed the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise in a major way. I really, truly do.
Absolutely. And can we thank Denver for paying for that for us? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, my friends. Thank you to the state of Colorado. Thank you to the Denver Broncos. We truly appreciate that $38.5 million that you forked over this season to allow Russell Wilson to dominate the AFC and to come in after a stellar performance by young Justin Fields and really pick the baton up and really run with it and put this Pittsburgh Steelers team in the division lead, eyeing up a top seed in the AFC conference. Guys, this isn't a fucking fluke, Shawn. This Steelers team isn't an accident, isn't a mistake. We said it all off season. They were a good ball club. I feel like this is the moment Steelers fans have been longing for so long, but yet can't get out of our own way with nitpicking this football team. Do you think that the Steelers fan base is just being a little bit overcritical due to the decade of bullshit?
Yeah, it's been a long time. As Steeler fans, we've taken a lot of abuse from other players, our, fans in the league. They've really been pouring that salt on our wounds about no postseason victories in how many years, regardless of the fact that we still have 6 Lombardi trophies in our locker at the stadium. But people they're going to ignore that now because Pittsburgh has been irrelevant in the postseason for many, many years. And I think that now that's all coming to a crashing end.
Yeah, this is it. Enjoy it, baby. Enjoy it. Tom Ford says, I'm not worried about JPJ. I just think Jackson is on a roll. He is, definitely. I agree. Roberta Campbell, we don't go live during the show. Thank you. Wave those terrible towels for Miss Pittsburgh. I agree with this game is huge. Albert Wright is Pickens out today. Why? Hamstring, Albert. He is out inactive for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Mel Mills, bold prediction. Cam Sutton gets a pivotal strip sack. Hey, that wouldn't be bad. DJ Thomas, let's go Steelers. Why is George out for Mr. Malone? Hamstring, Mark, hamstring. Hamstring injury, guys. Anybody that's listening, hamstring injury for young George Pickens. He is out today. Will be inactive, and the Steelers have to go with somebody new. That's funny hearing Shawn talk about bandwagon fans and how a lot of people used to talk shit about them. Yeah, it is true, man. Yeah, it is funny. No doubt about it. Mel Mills, this is a day CA3 becomes a star. I think CA3 has become a star already, but I think this is where maybe people start to really notice him a little bit more, Shawn. I think Calvin Austin can really solidify that number 2 role today. I think he can take control of that spot and maybe never give it up again. You never know.
You never know. You got to take advantage of that spotlight. When that spotlight comes down on you, you got to shine, baby.
Yes, you got to shine. Absolutely. It's all about timing. Both hands help each other this season. I personally have never been a huge Sean Payton fan. I feel he is overrated. Me too, man. Sam Mason. Will Patterson be lined up as a wide receiver a lot today? I think you see it at times. I don't think it'll be a lot. I think they have enough firepower in there. You're going to have even Scotty Miller should be up today. Ben Skoranek probably is up today again. So I think there's players. I think there's some players that could seize the moment. What do you think about maybe like a Ben Skoranek today, maybe getting some targets too, Sean, and maybe really starting to shine for the Steelers? He's been an excellent special teams contributor, and he's done some nice things on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, if there's ever a time to try him out or give him a shot, today would be a very good time to try that. And I would not be upset at all to see somebody step up and make some big plays.
Yeah, no doubt, man. DJ Thomas. Well, it's time to see if Mike Williams and Jefferson become a part of this run or if we need to add another guy. I think they are a part of it already. I just think Mike Williams, hey, he had that touchdown catch in Washington, and you haven't seen him since. I think they're both players that are gonna shine when they have to, and I think that you saw that from Van Jefferson last week. I just want to see it from Mike Williams this week, no doubt about it. Armin, I love your live shows, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that. We truly, truly appreciate that. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live. We're about 17 minutes away from the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns in a monster AFC North matchup where the Pittsburgh Steelers can chokehold this division. I think this is a day, man. I think it's a day, Sean.
It is. You know what else? It's just starting to really set into me. I'm getting this feeling, and it's coming out of nowhere. Jalen Warren's going to have a big run today, you guys. I'm calling it right now. Jalen Warren's going to have a big one today.
Yes, no doubt. Tom says, I don't believe fans have been overcritical the past decade, especially when they've been used to the Steelers being so much better. I agree with that. What I mean by overcritical is this. I mean, each and every week, no matter what the Steelers do, if they win by a bunch, there's still going to be some negative things being said no matter what. I feel like
Yep.
we as Steeler fans don't enjoy the ride because of what you say in that comment of we're used to being successful. We're used to that winning way, that winning culture. I think that we don't stop to smell the roses sometimes. And I think that that's something we need to change as a fan base sometimes and just say, you know what? Yes, there are these deficiencies. We'll talk about them throughout the week. But right when the game's over, we just need to enjoy the ride a little bit. That's where I think I'm coming from the most, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roberta Campbell, I just think the Steelers fans have just gotten used to every team expected to win, but that is not what happens. And any team no doubt, every team can lose, and that is the reality. Any team can win or lose each game, and that's the thing, man. Bama eliminated. I don't watch college football, Duffy. I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
DJ
that's
Thomas,
huge.
Mike T said this is not a revenge game or get back game. It's a get right game. The one hit the nail on the head. Yeah, this is Sean. This isn't. Yeah, I don't. I kind of agree. It's not revenge. It's not get back. It's this, Sean. The Steelers are who run the AFC North. This football team runs this division right now. And what this game is a game that the Steelers should win. They should own the fucking Browns. They shouldn't allow anything to happen outside of beating the shit out of the Cleveland Browns. And I think that's what has to be expected.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, Jameis Winston, they've had some tape on him now. They've had a good tape that they, of them playing them themselves just 2 weeks ago. And it's not going to be as easy this time. It's hard to beat somebody twice a season. And the Browns
Yeah.
just are not going to do it today. No freaking way, dude. No way.
No doubt, man. And the good teams are now going to start rising to the top, Sean. The good teams are going to start just really flexing their muscles. Teams that are going to be around late in the season, around deep into the playoffs, they're going to be the ones flexing their might, man. And I think this is that time where you start to see the Steelers flex their muscle and really just show why they are atop of the AFC North. And I caution the fan base again. Enjoy this ride and watch the Steelers dismantle the Cleveland Browns today. And I know I said that last time, but I think the Browns got lucky, dude. And
Hmm.
it is what it is. And like Sean said, it's hard to beat people twice. And that goes both ways for the Steelers. Teams they've already beaten within the division. It's hard to beat teams twice, regardless of record. It's just what it is, man. If you think if the Steelers win today, they get to that 10th win, Shawn. How confident are you that they could possibly get to a 1 or a 2 seed inside of the AFC conference playoffs? Or do you think it would be something that no matter what happens, they're probably going to be the 3 seed?
I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like the Steelers are not done. I think they are going to be number one or number two. I think they go up above number three. And the Chiefs or the Bills, they're going to drop a game or two, I think, also before this season comes to an end. And I see the Steelers, really rising up to the occasion and maybe going into the playoffs at the number 2 spot. That's going to be my prediction, number 2. And wouldn't that be a great thing to have?
Baby.
Oh my God, bro. When's the last time the Steelers even went into the playoffs at number 1, 2, or even 3?
Yeah, long time, baby. Armin asks predictions for the 49ers Bears. I say 49ers. Who do you got, Shawn?
Yeah, something tells me the Niners are going to find a way to win that game today.
What about Chiefs Chargers? I'll take the Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with the upset.
Oh,
Chargers going to upset the Chiefs today.
I think you're right, Shawn. I'm going to switch mine too. I thought about that when I read it, and I said Chiefs. I like the Chargers in that game too. I think that that's where the Chargers get that win and put the Chiefs down to 2 losses. That will
Yep.
do a big thing for the Steelers, and that's imperative too. And I think we need to watch that, Shawn. The Chargers win today against the Chiefs gives that team that second loss. The Steelers stay hot, stay winning. That game head to head against the Chiefs might start really, really meaning something, my friend.
That could be a big pivotal game. It might be the biggest game of the season for the Steelers.
No doubt. What's up, Mike Miller? Aloha, Shawn. Steelers beat the Cleveland Clowns. Let's go. DJ Thomas, the Chiefs play 5 current playoff teams over the next 5 weeks and end the season. The first seed could be wide open. I think so too. I think that's definitely. I think all the teams except for Buffalo that are at the top probably have the really hard schedule. I know the Steelers do. I know the Chiefs do. Mel Mills says today Winston throws 3 interceptions. That could be good. We need the number 1 spot. Let's go Steelers. Wave that terrible towel from his Pittsburgh. DJ, love the Chiefs schedule. Everybody on the NFL Network picked the Steelers to win today. Let's go. Roberta Campbell, I do think the black and gold looks good on Russ. Mike Miller says 41-10. Here we go. Also, guys, if you want to put your score predictions into log them, because I'm not writing them down, there is a place in the community section. Just scroll through. You'll see score predictions for week 14. Go ahead and put your score predictions in there, and we'll see who's close like we do every week. That saves me a hell of a lot of time. All right, Shawn, closing thoughts here on our live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. I want to hear what you got to say, your closing thoughts here before week 14 kicks off.
Closing thoughts, same thing as I usually say is, when you find yourself getting stressed out and you're sitting on the edge of your seat, you need to remind yourself to enjoy this ride, sit back, let the coaches deal with that stress. We're going to enjoy this game and we're going to enjoy this ride. And the Steelers are going to go out there and do what they need to do to get this dub today. So just when you guys are feeling stressed out, because it's probably going to be a pretty tight game, just keep the composure, relax, because
Amen.
we got a championship team here. We got a true Super Bowl contender team. We got so much talent, and you just got to remind yourself that.
No doubt, man. I agree, dude. I agree. Yes, I think it's going to be a big one. That's my closing thoughts too. And I think the Steelers come away 10-3 today without George Pickens. And I think this is a heavy defensive game. And like Shawn said, relax. And I want you guys to enjoy the game and enjoy this moment. Immerse yourself in this moment, my friends. Allow it to soak in. Regardless of the outcome, the Steelers are still in control of this division. And I hope everybody does realize that. Would it be a devastating loss if they did lose? Absolutely. But guess what? The Steelers still would be in the driver's seat for this division. And I'd be still truly, truly excited about their chances. Steelers definitely win today. Shawn says 31-20 Steelers. I come in at 27-24 Steelers with a late game field goal by Chris Boswell. And I do think Deshaun Elliott scores today on a botched up interception, a bumbled around interception. So we'll see if that happens. So, all right, guys, thank you. Thank you, Shawn. We'll see you after the game, my friend.
All right. Thanks for having me, Jason. And yeah, enjoy the game, guys.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. See you after the game when the Steelers go 10-3.
Yeah,
Later.
buddy.